sheets are dirty. Even though you'll never come clean, you know it's true. Those sheets are dirty, and so are you. The one.
Is PC gaming better than console gaming?
Ooh, yes. I mean, what is yes?
It's the age-old question that fanboys love to scream, "Oh, PC gaming is the best!"
No, it's console gaming. What are you talking about, you idiots?
This sounds like a wonderfully intelligent video. I'm so excited to listen.
This is the sort of argument that you see on online forums for literally decades. But in 2023, things have actually changed quite drastically. And in this whole argument of PC versus console, there are now a lot of things to consider because everything seems to be closer together than ever.
And you lost me. This guy named PC Centric really just opened his video by saying consoles and PCs are closer than ever, specifically in 2023, which is like, how did we get here? I mean, the obvious point here is the ridiculous number of 30 FPS caps around in console games today, on top of the $70 price tags. And no, I don't care if you have a performance mode, because the fact that 30 FPS seems to be the prerequisite for good graphics nowadays, like, I really don't think that's a W for consoles at all. Also, someone left me this comment not too long ago, and like, yeah, that's pretty much it. The point I'm getting at here is it's kind of weird to say the two platforms are closer than ever in 2023 when the state of console gaming is getting so embarrassing. Like, just, it's a really weird way to start your video. Console gaming is basically falling apart at the seams when it comes to pricing and performance, while the PC is doing just fine. You know, nothing's really changed over here the last few years, other than I guess some new sets of hardware. Sure, there's been a handful of high-profile bugged-up launches this year, but those games are largely fixed at this point, and also the occasional poorly programmed PC port really just isn't new. And it's not a mark on the platform as a whole.
So rather than fanboying and whinging about things, how about we actually make something useful and show you the differences between different platforms and help you to explore what is the right one for you.
And then we can run all your points through the Joefromseattle-inator and see if they're stupid or not. Spoiler, a lot of them are really stupid. And the fact that they're coming from PC-centric is just bizarre.
And I assure you, the answer will shock you, because in 2023, PC gaming is in a right weird place, and console gaming is arguably better than ever.
In terms of hardware, yeah, the consoles are better than ever, but in terms of the market and just the state of things, you're gonna have a really hard time arguing that one. And again, the PC hasn't really had any major hiccups this year, other than that weird few-week period of buggy AAA ports. AAA ports of games that, mind you, largely ran like puke with a 30 FPS cap on consoles, but at least our side of the aisle got fixed up eventually.
So then, with near platform parity, what exactly is the best and what should you be buying?
This dude really just said near platform parity. Where is this going? I'm scared. I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Find out absolutely everything you need to know about PC gaming and all of the platforms right after a short word from this video's sponsor.
Skipping over the sponsor plug.
Right then, this is certainly not going to be a controversial video at all. Let us get started.
Reminder 58,000,004 that preemptively declaring your video to be controversial is a really stupid thing to do, because you're making yourself sound insecure right out of the gate. Like, this really shouldn't be controversial at all as long as you're being honest with the information.
What are the differences between PC gaming and consoles? Well, in 2023, not actually as much as you might think.
Yeah guys, the consoles are severely limited by their design and lack of customization and horrible memory capacity and 2019 graphics tech, but what do you know, they're closer than ever to modern PCs.
Whilst all consoles do run on custom hardware, they're essentially all just gaming computers with a processor, graphics chip, RAM, and solid-state storage.
They don't have a graphics chip. They have an APU, which is a piece of hardware that acts as both the CPU and GPU. And that's a really important distinction because the designated GPU is part of what makes the PC capable of so much more. There's a designated graphics card with its own designated video memory. And then you have more memory for everything else in the computer, and your CPU isn't sharing resources with your graphics card, which makes a huge difference. There's nothing inherently wrong with APUs, and I know there's PC gamers that use APUs as well, but it's really weird that you try to gloss over this when you of all people should know better. If you're a new gamer and you're trying to determine what machine to buy, this is something you really should know. Also, if we're just talking raw graphical power between the console and PC, I feel like I should point out early on in this video that the graphics tech in the Xbox and PlayStation's APU is roughly equivalent to an RX 5700 XT, or maybe an RTX 2070. So it's not like the APU is really even that powerful.
What makes consoles unique, however, and gives them a bit of an advantage over PC, is the fact that they are actually built from the ground up for gaming, and in particular, we're talking about the operating system because it is incredibly lightweight.
Whether or not the thing is built for a specific purpose is irrelevant if it's not good at it, or if there's a better option. Like, yeah, a paper shredder is fundamentally designed for making paper illegible, and it's much more fundamentally designed to do that than a tactical nuclear strike. But one of those options is going to do a much better job at making a piece of paper illegible, even if that wasn't its explicit purpose. And yes, I'm sticking with that analogy.
And yes, I know, this probably sounds really boring, but the ability to code games to use almost all of the hardware on offer allows developers to just better use what they have available and obtain greater frame rates as a result.
Well, the two examples that you gave here were running at 30 FPS and 60 FPS. So I don't know why you brought it up at all. Because if that's supposed to be impressive, that's honestly just kind of pathetic.
PCs, on the other hand, run on a copy of Windows, which, while perfect for pretty much everything, has been designed for pretty much everything and is much heavier as a result.
Am I in fucking 2017? How are you still making this argument against the PC? The PC wasn't explicitly designed for gaming, yes, but that doesn't mean that the things it's doing that aren't gaming are holding it back in any way. Yeah, if you open your task manager, you're probably going to be running a million background tasks at any given time, but how much of your computer's memory is being used by them? Here's my task manager from right now. I'm running Valorant, 5 windows of Chrome, Steam, Discord, the Riot Launcher, NZX Tcam, and another 68 background processes. And I'm only using like a third of my CPU and my memory. And the game is running at 1440p locked 144 FPS. A console would be bleeding from its ears if you put this kind of load on it.
And you really don't have to look far to see the consequences of this. We've had plenty of terrible PC ports this year, and one of the main reasons that these keep popping up is because creating smooth running PC games requires a lot of time and experience with all of the inevitable overheads.
While talking about bad PC ports, you showed footage of Dead Space and Fortnite. 2 games that I think run pretty fucking well on PC. Like, certainly much better than the console versions. So, I really don't know what you're getting at here. 2023 has had some high-profile shitter ports for sure, but you probably should have mentioned those before backing up your argument with 2 games that run perfectly well.
And there's another reason that PCs are a bit of a nightmare for developers to actually work with, and the reason is that there are just so many different combinations of hardware that actually making sure every single PC gamer that opens up a game is going to get a great experience is nigh on impossible. Case in point, here's a graphics card. Right, let's develop for this. But then you also have someone working with this one, with this one,
with this one, with this one. Not to mention different SSD storage speeds, RAM quantities, RAM speeds, and then all of the different software that people got installed as well. We can have incompatibilities. Some people will be running out of date.
It is literally a minefield, and if my hair was like big and going crazy, that would be a small illustration of just how mad PC gaming can be for developers.
Yeah, that fast forward was from me, not him. I put the fast forward in there. You're welcome for sparing you from more time watching him. But you know what's funny? You never hear this. All the shit that he just said, you never hear this when PC gaming is going all right. Which is like 99% of the time, by the way. Maybe 95%. But like 95% of PC games come out completely fine. And remember, there's way more game releases over here than there are on the consoles. So, 95% without major issue, I'd consider that an absolute win. But the point he's trying to make here about developers needing to account for every piece of hardware ever, that's literally not true. And you know how I know that? Because 95% of PC games come out completely fine. And okay, so there were a handful of really lazy high-profile PC ports this year. Okay, what changed? Why is this point about PC parts only now a fundamental problem with developing for the platform? Because nothing about developing for PC has fundamentally changed over the last couple decades. Why is the concept of developing for PC only just now a problem? This argument you're making literally doesn't make sense if you think about it for 5 seconds. PC game development and gaming PC construction have been fundamentally the same for decades. But now, just now, in 2023, Developers are struggling to account for the differences in builds? What, like, why? You have to explain this. Everything's been going perfectly fine up to this point. You can't now just declare there to be a fundamental problem and not explain yourself. The thing you are explaining as the problem was not a problem before. Why is it now? What, like why? All because a handful of AAA ports were programmed really fucking lazily this year? That's not a problem with the platform. A lot of console games were programmed lazily this year too. It sounds to me like you just noticed a handful of high-profile PC ports with technical issues and then just trusted your gut to determine the underlying issue, when in reality, the issue was simply that those ports were lazily programmed. It's fucking bananas to me how someone named PC-centric can be so dishonest about what's going on here. But I guess that's what you guys have me for.
Oh no, I've got to clear all of this up now. So yeah, with consoles, it's just a whole lot easier to not only extract the power out of them in the first place, but then much easier to test and verify the games will actually work as they should.
You showed Gears 5 footage there from the Xbox, and I thought it was broken for a second because the field of view was so low. Which, you know, is a factor of gameplay and performance that you're probably just not going to touch on. You know, a lot of console games don't let you adjust field of view or really graphic settings of any kind, but hey, that's not important, right? That's not important at all, because something PC parts. But anyways, you showed their Gears 5 and DMC 5. 2 8th generation games running at solid performance caps on the Xbox Series X. But that's precisely the issue. Those games are from the last console generation. They fucking better be running well on the 9th gen consoles. And it's not like the performance metrics you put on screen here were really all that hard to obtain on PC. So yeah, Gears 5 and DMC 5 have 120Hz modes on the Series X. But they've had those on PC since they came out. And this isn't really a testament of the console's power when modern games are coming out with 30 FPS frame rate caps or heavily nerfed graphics just to get the frame rate to 60. Like, that's just not a flex. The consoles are already outdated in terms of game performance. I mean, DMC5's recommended GPU is a 1060. Yeah, I'd fucking hope the Series X could run it at 120. But what about more modern releases? Because I can probably count on one hand the number of native AAA Series X and PS5 games that don't put a hard 30 FPS cap on the best looking version of the game. Which in the current year is a really weird thing to be favorably comparing to the PC.
But whoa, hang on a second, you're brushing over the best bit about PC gaming, for goodness sake.
I mean, you've been brushing over everything about PC gaming up to this point.
Yes, we have a disadvantage, but that only comes from the main advantage, which is the flexibility of the platform. You can do whatever you like. Sure, the Xbox Series X is more powerful than the S, but with PC gaming, you can go so far beyond this, it is ridiculous.
Why did you talk about performance and talk about, ooh, great performance, the tech is so good at making like, why did you spend almost 4 minutes of this video talking about that if you were just going to turn around and say this? I hate when people do this in their videos. They say a whole bunch of fucking nonsense, and really the only reason they're doing it is for engagement. The only reason they're doing it is to increase their watch time. Because if he says a whole bunch of nonsense at the beginning or in the first few minutes, but then he turns it around later, he can be like, "Oh look, I wasn't lying." Except you fucked up here. You were trying to cheese your average watch time and then turn it around later, but you made a mistake and were actually just being stupid.
You can make your PC look exactly the way you want, from tiny powerhouse to crazy huge behemoth. You can play with a controller, keyboard, flight stick, pretty much everything. And most importantly, you can choose the resolution, refresh rate, and graphic settings for absolutely everything you play.
This is what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't you lead with this? This is objectively better than everything you've said up to this point. Why didn't you just lead with this? If not just to pad your engagement and possibly confuse people who don't know any better, which is really the main issue I'm taking with this.
What can I say? PC gamers are stubborn folk. We don't like being told what to do. Story of my life. Marcus, keep the noise down there. I'm trying to watch EastEnders. Sorry, Mum.
That's the kind of comedy that gets you 633,000 subscribers.
And of course, the flexibility doesn't just apply to aesthetics. It's all about the hardware and the way that the games actually feel. Ultimately, if I was going to describe PC gaming in a single word, that word would be
penis. Did you laugh? Did I get it? I'll bet you more people laughed at my joke than his.
Choice, because I actually play most of my games now down.
Hang on, I have to rewind the video because I literally didn't hear what he said. I was too excited about my penis joke. I'm 26, by the way.
Ultimately, if I was going to describe PC gaming in a single word, that word would be choice, because I actually play most of my games now downstairs on a TV as if it was a console. I've got a gaming PC hooked up to a 65-inch TV, runs in 4K, 120 Hz. Lovely. That might upset some people, might be a bit controversial, I play with a controller, but this is the point, right? It's entirely up to you and the way you want to play.
Yes, that is the best part of PC gaming. PC gaming allows you to do pretty much anything with pretty much any budget you want. If you want higher frame rates and you're willing to sacrifice graphics, you can do that. If you don't mind lower frame rates so you can get the best graphics possible, you can do that. And also, you just have much better hardware at your disposal, so if you want to max out the graphics in a game, you are just inherently going to be at higher frame rates than you would ever be on the console. And then, of course, on top of that, you have the game selection, you have the just cheaper games in general. Games are way cheaper over here. There's way more games to play. You have a much wider selection of controllers, much wider selection of input devices. You have all the mods. Yeah, if you want to be a gamer, and I hate being the person who's like, oh, if you want to be a gamer, do this. Gamers do this. But like, if you want to have the most variety in your games, the highest number of games, the best possible customization in your performance and your hardware, the best future proofing, the most price-conscious pricing, I guess is a way to say that. Yeah, if you want to get one gaming machine and have the most options possible, get a PC.
There is no other platform that gives you that level of choice. Let's press on to what always used to be the most heated discussion point of PC gaming versus console: exclusives. I remember it vividly. I first made this video 11 years ago, and the amount of comments all about, I don't know, Halo or Uncharted or something was literally off of the charts.
What was the punchline? I don't get it.
But in 2023, this is no longer the case. I mean, sure, Nintendo isn't going to put Pokemon on PlayStation anytime soon.
Emulate the games.
But both Xbox and PlayStation exclusives just don't really exist anymore. Halo, Gears of War, Uncharted, Last of Us, Horizon, all of these are available on PC. Oh, but this Sony ones are timed exclusives. All right, fair enough. You got me on that. What do you want? A medal?
That's a good point too. A lot of people are like, Xbox games are on PC day one, but PlayStation games, they're timed. It's like, look, PlayStation guys, let's sit down across the table, all right? Sit down, have a hot cocoa, and just listen to me for a second. We don't care. Most of us, we don't care. Like, oh, Spider-Man 2 is gonna be on PlayStation for fucking 2 years. All right, I'll work through my gigantic backlog in the meantime, because I have more games than you ever will on my platform. So, okay, you can have it. You can have it for a bit. We don't care. That's probably my favorite thing about the PC community. It's like we butt into everybody's arguments. We stoke the flames of the console war. We roast marshmallows over the console flames. And at the end of the day, we don't care. We don't fucking care.
And I'll also add that this also works the other way around, because there are now loads of PC exclusives, or what used to be PC exclusives, things like Civilization and Diablo, that are now available on consoles.
Diablo's been on console for a long time.
So yes, while things aren't perfect, and there are still some timed exclusives or some Nintendo exclusives,
Emulation.
generally speaking, gamers can play what they want, where they want, and I think that is really darn cool. Whilst PC gaming is by far the most flexible platform, this does bring with it a little bit of a barrier to entry, with that one being ease of use. And shout at the screen all you want about how easy PC gaming is, I don't think anyone can actually sit here with a straight face and say it is as simple as console gaming. It's not necessarily difficult, but there are a lot more steps involved, and it is a lot harder, especially if you're new to the platform.
This is another point that I'm going to take issue. I'm going to tap out of this one soon, because it seems I actually had a lot of people send me this video. Surprisingly, I think it's because of that first 3 to 4 minute stretch where he's just fucking rambling for some reason. And I don't mean to sound super harsh on this guy, because PC Centric obviously knows what he's talking about, and I actually do respect his content most of the time. But this was weird. I'll respond to this one point, and then we can call it a day, and we can go our separate ways. I don't believe the complexity or the added complication of the PC is actually a barrier to entry. I think it's definitely less simple than the console for sure, but that doesn't mean it's difficult, you know? The iPod Touch was a lot more complicated than the iPod Nano. That doesn't mean it was hard to use. It's just different, and there's more options. And I think if you're one of the people that says the PC gaming it's too complicated, it's too hard. Like, who are you really, like, what are you really saying here? Because it sounds like you're saying console gamers can't figure it out, which is kind of just condescending and not really true. I'm gonna go eat breakfast, and I'll let you guys simmer over this one. I'll let you guys mull this one over. Closing thoughts. The PS5 is fucking ugly. I don't know why. I just never really saw the PS5 like at so many different angles as I did in this video before. I don't have a PS5. I don't want a PS5, so I just never pay attention to it. The most I ever like actually see the physical PS5 is like in promotional videos where they only show it at the most flattering angles. But my God, this thing is ugly. Toodles.